also, I like to play with words. And, bridges, we have bridges that we walk over, bridge, the bridges. And bridge is something that we have in music. When we go from the chorus to maybe the next verse or to the next chorus, we have something we call a bridge in music. And music is a very, very heavy part in the storyline, both for bridges and for ATTUKWEI. So I wanted to put that in, but also bridges over ATTUKWEI. The ATTUKWEI's situation is very hard and rough. He's living with his mother and he kind of like runs away. And I'm seeing things visually. And I was thinking that, being in a situation where you are under a bridge, sometimes when we walk, we think about being under the bridge. We think about homeless people. We think about, someone hiding from someone or something. So that was the visual idea I got for, bridges over ATTUKWEI. But then bridges is the person also, bridges over, which is, another person that is connected to ATTUKWEI from her father, who, used to school with ATTUKWEI's father. So, there's a connection there.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's look at the characters, okay? Let's look at ATTUKWEI, let's look at mommy, let's look at daddy, let's look at the grandma, let's look at bridges over, who came into the picture later.
Yes. Well, ATTUKWEI, I would say, is the main character. And it starts with, ATTUKWEI and his mother, Mommy Dearest, who is kind of like, the strong spirits in Kotobabi down where they are from, who always, makes sure that everyone is okay. She has, a lot of happiness, hope, and she's very religious. She prays a lot. Even though she knows that ATTUKWEI is kind of wearing off in school, misbehaving, she feels that with prayer, she can change things. And she doesn't have the support, really from ATTUKWEI's father, Papa Potre. He's a pilot and he's out. But even though, he's a pilot, that doesn't mean that he's, irresponsible, but he's kind of like a womanizer as well. He's a rolling stone. He has other children by other women, and he's not really thinking about the household of ATTUKWEI. So that also, puts pressure on, Mommy Dearest, and it puts ATTUKWEI in a situation where he can see that, okay, I can run away a little bit and my mom cannot stop me by herself. And these are situations that I've seen in my life, in my own life and in other people's situations. So I've always wanted to tell that, incorporate that, because it's very, very, very common,
So Steve, was the full picture, I know that something negative happened to ATTUKWEI in the end, but you're saying he had some traits, or you projected some part of your life into him. Now, which parts of your life, tallied with ATTUKWEI, or what kind of aspect of your life led you to giving that part to ATTUKWEI in the novel?
Well, I think that, most people can identify with, it's just human traits, and that is pretty much what the whole, Iskodo trilogy, will depict, the human traits that we have. We have there's always results from the way that, our life has gone. If someone treats us bad, something will come of it. It can be negative, it can be positive, but it's always a result. And painting the picture of Papa Potre, the way he was, dealing with the family situation and not really being there, that gave ATTUKWEI the idea of, okay, then let me go and find my way. It's very easy when you don't really have a full roof over your head to see, okay, there's a way I can get out of here without, any consequences. And I felt that that story had to be told. Mommy Dearest, she's doing her best and she's putting her trust in God. But the conversation is it enough to keep ATTUKWEI grounded? Because he's like, and the story is, based in the 70s. It starts off in the late 70s, so or even the mid 70s if you go way back. And I just felt that in today's society we have more ways of monitoring things. Back then, there was a strong, setting in our communities. But if someone was focused on doing their own thing, it's kind of like it was easier for them to really do it, even if it was bad. And I wanted to portray that, So the story starts in the 70s and then, it goes into the 90s. But I wanted to even portray the changes that has happened in society.
Okay. Wow.
So, yes.
Wow. And I now understand. I was about to ask that question, that why did the stories, go back into the 70s? Because things have totally changed with technology and all that. So I was really going to find out from you why 1970s? Why not from 1950s to 1970s or from the 2000s to 2020? But from 1970 to the 1990s. And now Kotobabi, why Kotobabi?
Like we discussed, I think your own situation is very inspirational when you hear about what your father and your mother did when they were young. Like that's something that really drives me when it comes to my creativity in everything I do. And mommy, my own mother came from Kotobabi. And
mommy's boy. You are mommy's boy. You can't lie about that.
No, I'm definitely a mommy's boy. I can't lie. so she sprung from Kotobabi as a younger, similar age to ATTUKWEI. ATTUKWEI is 17 when the story starts, and she was about 17 when she was starting to become her own. Like her thing was dancing. ATTUKWEI just wanted to go into the bad boy type of things, but he was very inspired by art still, because film, movies, cinema was something that drove and inspired ATTUKWEI. It was just that he got more inspired of the negative aspect of it than the positive creative. Yeah. So a lot in the story has to do with things that I've seen or heard about, around my family and my friends, basically.
Okay. Now, I don't want to be a spoiler. I don't want to, be part of those who are like, spoiler alert, and, they say everything that happens in the latest movie and all that. But we know what happened to ATTUKWEI. Now, drugs, dancing, bridges over, families, a man having a wife aside, a girlfriend aside his wife, and hides it from his wife, okay, and has children or has another child apart from his own home. Now, you're saying that these things, or the inspiration behind these settings and these characters and all that, had to do with things that you had seen and things that you had experienced. Now, were these things or these occurrences that you decided to play a part in the novel, were they things you saw around you apart from the characters? The girl wanting to dance and the birds flying. Tell us about that.
Yeah. When it comes to the things as the cheating, the depression, even suicide. I don't want to give away too much, but those are definitely things I've seen, in my surroundings, not necessarily my family, but my surroundings.
Okay.
As a teacher, I've been, teaching in, America, Sweden, England, UK, Ghana. So I've seen so many things. I've heard so many stories, students, parents, cousins, uncles, friends, just random situations. So I feel like I've gathered so much information that has, impacted me in one way or the other that I wanted to tell. So that has definitely like those things, the things that we talk about very little in our societies. And I'm not just specifically saying the society of Ghana, I'm saying in the world it's quite taboo to speak about mental health. I wanted to make that the focal point in the story, even though you have drugs and other things. So that is definitely something that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to use the birds, or in the book I call them the freedom flyers. I wanted to make them as, kind of like the solace. Everyone doesn't really believe in religion when you present it to them as religion, but they believe in something that elevates them. So I wanted to use the birds, the freedom flyers, as that. Not specifically for non-religious readers to be okay with it, no. But I wanted to give religion a different type of portrayal.
Okay.
So the freedom flyers, they represent, when you are feeling stressed, when you are feeling depressed, the freedom flyers comes in and they create that calm, just like a lot of people would say religion does or prayer does.
Wow, wow. Then this book entails a lot, because I think it's filled with a lot of symbolism, metaphors, and what have you. It's a rich display of literary devices and literature as well. Okay, let's see some Facebook messages. Bernard Coffee says, "Great show, glad to be watching. Can't wait to." Embroma Diva Apia is watching. Kwame Asari is watching. Hello to you all. Awesome discussion out there. Yeah, so I'm with Mr. It's cold though. Then you respond, Charlie, cold though. Now let's shift a bit from the book to your personal life. Okay.
Okay.
Now you've been bullied before, and you are a teacher. Now let's look a bit into that. Now, because of the corona, many teachers are either doing virtual learning, distance learning, and what have you. What's up with you and the coronavirus and your teaching profession?
Okay, I've just kind of gone in the cave, in my creative cave, because the lockdown happened, and just a few days after the lockdown, I was in a situation where the police stopped me and frisked me, which is understandable because you are supposed to be locked down and just go for food.
Yeah.
And I went for food, but the place where I went, they didn't have what I was looking for. So I went to the main road. A police car came, and I was like, so that just put me in the mind state of, let me just stay in the house and create. So, as I said, from bad things, good things come. So I just, I've just decided that I want to level up in everything that I do. Like, I want to level up in my writing. I want to level up in my, piano is kind of like my main instrument, and I've been playing it for 20 years. And, I always hear that, Stephen, you are a genius, a virtuoso, cool. But that is other people's perception. How do I see myself? So it's kind of like I've been having conversations with myself creatively, and been putting down a lot of time just creating. Like I've been playing piano since the lockdown started. I've been playing piano 4 hours every day.
Will you teach
the
me?
writing, yeah, the writing has also increased, and writing from different perspectives. I mean, even though I did that, previously, I've tried to just write in so many different ways, and also lesson plans for future lessons when school starts again. I've been working on. So I've just and I think it's very good, because in life sometimes you just go forward and forward and forward without reflecting. Okay, what am I doing? Is it good enough? Is it impactful enough? So I've been really reflecting and working on myself and working on my creative talents.
Wow.
So I haven't been, because I've been kind of respecting the I have so many keyboard piano students, but I've obviously I'm not, I don't teach because of money. So I 100% have followed and respected the rules and regulations, and just stayed by myself.
I mean, that's great, because some people are getting bored, indoors, especially with teachers. If you are a teacher in the government sector and you're not a teacher in the private sector, because I know the private schools have rolled out, the virtual learning, and it's going on. But with governments, still things are trying to, pull up. We pray it gets solved soon. Yeah. But in case you just tuned in, it's the book review show, and we have Stevie Nii-Adu Mensah, or as it's popularly known, it's called or Mensah High Life. Yeah. Now, yeah, Mensah. Where did you get Mensah High Life from?
Okay, High Life was the first music genre that I grew up with. My father was a drummer, High Life jazz, and we had all these, old school High Life albums. E.T. Mensah, Alaji King Frimpong. I grew up with that, and then fusion, and I've always, identified with the word because I heard it a lot. High life, all the time. High life, high life, high life. That was a word that at a young age I heard so many times. So I just, it just became a natural thing. And then Mensah is our surname. So I just, added the Mensah and high life. And high life is also, to me, living the high life can mean different things. It can mean that to me, it means like living your goals, your dreams, not necessarily financially, creatively. And I mean, I know to some it means like being posh and living high, but to me, that's what it meant. But and it's very connected to the music as well. High life music to me is very, soulful, and it's very passionate. So to add it with the Mensah, and then share the H with my Mensah with the H and high life, so one H in between. I thought that was kind of like clever, but that's me.
Cool. There are lots. I think there's a lot of story behind you as Steve Mensah, because I mean it's a lot, and I can't wait to read your autobiography. I don't want someone to write your biography, but I hope you started writing it.
No, I will write it, but if you want to write it, or someone around me, I don't think I should write my autobiography.
Yeah. Okay. So your I hope you started writing it, anyways.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit. I want to see after the show.
Okay.
All right. Let's come back to the book. Now let's assess the character of Bridges Over. Now, where did she come from? And why did you decide to? I realized in the book you were talking about ATTUKWEI. He was about traveling, and all of a sudden, I don't know whether to call it a flashback. I was a bit torn in between. I didn't know how, Bridges Over just came into the story. So could you tell us the linkage and the person or the character behind Bridges Over?
Okay. I think once my or your viewers read it, they will see the linkage being the birds. I always come back to the birds. They are gone for a while and then they always come back.
Yeah.
Something bad happens, the birds comes. Something good happens, the birds are there, as a representative of goodness. And so I think when we are heavily into ATTUKWEI, and he flies, the birds appears, and it takes it into, I think that the connection is between ATTUKWEI's father and Bridges Over's father, because they were schoolmates once. And Bridges Over is, I hate to say it, but a mistake, because her father, Dr. Awade, is, was happily married, but he too had the sparks of a womanizer. But I think that he was using the negative things in his life as a reason to start doing bad things like cheating. And that happened, and Bridges Over was eventually born. And I raised in Teshi because of him not wanting to find out, Dr. Awade not wanting to find out, wanting his wife to find out about the daughter. He kept her far away from where he stayed with his wife. So he had her in Teshi, and she grew up in Teshi, very connected with the Freedom Flyers and the passion. So it all goes together, it's almost like the birds showed her what she needed to do in life. Kind of like how we see prayer, right?
Okay, so yeah, please go on before I ask my next question.
I wanted to show these two different people, mainly ATTUKWEI and Bridges Over, and show the difference of their relationship with the Freedom Flyers. The energy that elevates them into the right direction.
Okay, so does that mean ATTUKWEI and Bridges Over had nothing in common? Maybe family ties, or you're just showing two lives sort of in a parallel way, or some sort of parallelism?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like a TV series where one episode, you have a theme. One episode is one character, another episode is another character. The only thing is that it ties them together because of, their, connections. As I said, their parents knew each other.
Okay.
When they were younger,
Yeah. I now get it. So now, why would you describe your story or your novel as a tragedy? Because things didn't end happily for me. People haven't yet read it, but I can stand in their stead to critique and maybe say that, was it supposed to go well? Was it supposed to not go well? Was that a tragedy? Why did you decide to end it like that? Why didn't one person's life see greener pastures and be happy? Or, sort of a comparison, but they both had quite a similar ending.
Yeah. A lot of stories ends with, the roses and kisses and the lovey-dovey things, but life doesn't always go that way. a lot of the fiction I've read, a lot of, the movies I grew up with, were kind of like that. And also with the theme, it's cold. It's not really the warmest type of, saying. So I wanted to also show them that in life, when you make the wrong choices and you ignore all the good advice that you get, it doesn't often end well. So there's a lesson to learn from Bridges Over ATTUKWEI, as it is with the first book. It's cool.
Wow, that's a beautiful story, and I can't wait to get the hard copy in my hand so that I can sit in my study with my light and my chilled bottle of orange juice or glass of orange juice, and be flipping through the pages, because I love to feel the hard copy book. I really struggle with the PDFs, even though that's the age we're coming to. But
me too.
But I can't wait to let it out. But let's
very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's look at some messages. This one says, what do you think about the Ghana book publishing or writing industry, and how are you breaking through that?
Interesting. I think that they are trying, they are improving. Like for the past, I would say 3-4 years, so much has changed as far as first having a fan base. People that, like, young people are really coming into reading, and I think that started with a few programs in school, because I know people that are like, let's say 10 years younger than me, that said that, oh, when I went to school, when I started going to school, we were doing a lot of reading programs. So that has been in the works for some time. And so that generation is coming up now, and they are creating their own stories. And they are also fans. So I think that a lot is changing. And I feel like I can really feel that the past 3-4 years, so much has happened. And that's, that is when I started writing my first book, and that even pushed me, because the feedback was amazing. When I was just writing this, beginning to write the script, I had readings in my house for people who was like, oh yeah. So as far as the fan base, because without a fan base, you can't really have a successful career as a writer. You need the fans. Wow. But also the communities. I'm a part of a community not very long from where I be, which is Adenta, and we have something called the Writers Grotto, where we meet once a month and we read to each other, and we create pieces. And we give each other feedback, and that has helped me so much with my writing, But apart from that, the writing societies, I'm seeing more libraries. We have Ian Nancy that has done a tremendous work for the past year, and there's so many other writing situations coming about, book situations and libraries and bookshops, coffee shops. So yeah, I think we are living very, very creatively when it comes to reading and writing.
All right, thank you so much, Steve. Wow, it's amazing how time flies. I believe that we will have you once again when the book is ready, but your final words to people out there about your book and about COVID-19 before we go out.
Okay. I'll start with the book. Initially, I said that it would be a horror book. And to me, it still is kind of scary. So because I know that my first book had 2 9-year-old girls on the cover, so people, have mistaken me for like a children's writer. But you know, I apart from the first book, I've been writing a lot of kind of like dark subjects, and this one is very, you know, very dark, but it still has that light, which are the birds. So it's I wouldn't call it a horror, but more like a thriller.
All right.
And so just to make people ready that when they read it, they shouldn't expect like a children's story, but a story with a strong message. With the COVID-19, very, very important to try to take it seriously, cover your faces, stay inside, use this time to learn a new trade, learn a new skill, the skill that you know and that everyone claps for you about. Make that 10 times stronger. 10,000 hours with your skill, and your life will be even greater than it is now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
And pray a lot. Take care of your inner self.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve. Wow. Bridges of ATTUKWEI, that is the book we have reviewed tonight on the Book Review Show GH. Well, if you want more details about the book, or in case you just tuned in, and I'm sorry we have ended, but just go to our Facebook page, the Book Review Show GH, and you're going to recap, or you're going to find the whole video there in case you missed out. So you can call, if you're an author out there, you also want to have your book reviewed on this platform, you can call 0231 151615. That's 0231 151615. If you're a business and you want to promote your business on this platform, you can call 0231 151615, or you can just send us a message via Instagram, that's the Book Review Show GH, or on Facebook. I'm Caroline Owusu Asamoah, and today we've looked at Bridges Over ATTUKWEI, written by Stevie Nii-Adu Mensah, aka Iskodu Mensah Highlight. Tune in same time next week, 7 p.m. right here. It's bye-bye from moi. I love you all. Stay safe, your masks, wash your hands, carry out your sanitizers, and please don't go anywhere if it's not necessary. Thank you. Bye.